choosing to spend time with me today. Today is going to be pretty interesting. I want to do for you an ASMR tier list. I'm not even really sure what I don't have my production assistant with me today, so I'm just sort of guessing. I hope you can see all of that. But I'm sure you understand the concept. We have tiers from S, A, B, C, D, E, F, or A, B, C, D, F. S being super tier, and then everything else being more of what you're accustomed to with school grades. A is good and F is failing. And we also have a list here of different ASMR triggers. And I'm going to go through and rate these on our tier list. Our completed tier list. Full disclosure, this is only my opinion, so some of these you will definitely not agree with, but feel free to let me know in the comments if you think something should be moved up or down and why. And before we get started, remember to do the like and the subscribe and the notifications and the comments and the clicking and the links in the descriptions and all of that stuff. So now that you've gotten that out of the way, just sit back and relax, and I hope you enjoy today's very special ASMR tier list. So we're gonna start with classic whispering. Oh yeah, also, I gave the cats some tuna, so hopefully they won't bother us too much, but if you hear something like a small horse in the background, it's the cats chasing one another. We have company over, and our cat bedroom is the guest room, so, we can't really lock the cats in with the guest, or the guest will not get any sleep, so they've been free-range cats all over the house, and they will be for the remainder of his stay. But back to the important stuff. Whispering. So, I'm going to say that whispering is the classic ASMR trigger. Almost every video has whispering, I guess, unless it's a no-talking video, or if it's a soft-spoken video. But when you think of ASMR, that's the first thing you think of is the whispering. In my opinion, that's the first thing I think of is the whispering. So I think that rightfully is going to go as an S tier. See how this works? I take the sticker from the sheet and put it on the board. Now, I'm not going to show you the board after every single one because it is very large and it does take up a lot of room. But the next trigger we have is breathing or wind noises. Now, videos, she always has like perfect tongue click placement, and it seems to be like an afterthought almost when she does it, but it's just so perfect and it gives me tingles every single time. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in A tier, just because I know that it's not always everyone's favorite, but for me it's really high up there. And next we're gonna go with soft speaking. Oh, my voice is horrible this morning. So I want to demonstrate each trigger if I can. I don't have all of the tools necessary, but I guess soft speaking is probably not in the cards for me today. I think I'm just a little too tired and my voice is my voice is kind of all or nothing this morning. My soft-speaking voice is not great this morning, but soft-spoken is not quite whispering, and it's not quite full voice, and a lot of people prefer it and find it gentle and soothing. For me, I can sometimes, depending on the situation, find it a little distracting and not the most relaxing. So I know this one will probably be really controversial, but I'm going to put soft speaking down in the D tier, because I generally, especially if I'm trying to fall asleep, I will generally avoid soft-spoken videos because they're not my favorite. Something about the whispering and the tingliness is really important to me. Is what it is. So the next one is scratching. I think scratching is very versatile. You can scratch just about anything. It can be something smooth or something textured, which I don't really have anything terribly textured in here right now. But you can scratch the mic even, although that one might be on there. I don't see it on the list, so I'll just go ahead and use that as an example. And scratching doesn't always have to be done with your fingers. I could scratch with this comb. So you can scratch one object with another object. Or you can scratch with your fingers. I guess you could probably even scratch your skin. I don't know, is that tingly? You tell me. But I think scratching is a very, very versatile one. And so it tends to be enjoyed by a lot of different people because it comes in so many different forms. And so I'm going to go ahead and put that in my A tier. So let's see how we're doing so far. Pretty good. We've got whispering in the S tier. And then we've got 2 triggers in A, nothing for B. We have a C and a D, but no F's yet, so that's pretty good. fingernail tapping. Doesn't really work so well on paper. There's not a big differentiation, but fingernail tapping tends to be a lighter noise. Kind of clicky. You can tap on as many different objects as there are in the whole wide world. Like, there's literally nothing that you can't tap. You can tap your face, but again, soft items, there's not as much differentiation between fingertip tapping and nail tapping. So this is typically for hard items. It can be fast. It can be slow. But tapping in general is iconic ASMR. If you had to ask anyone on the street, what do ASMR artists do? Like, I think whispering and tapping would be the first two things that came out of their mouths. So I'm going to put nail tapping up there in S tier with whispering. Which leads us to our next, which is fingertip tapping, which is a little different sounding. Kind of a muted, softer, like tips, fingernails, fingertips. A little bit softer. And it can be used more effectively on softer objects. Like your face. Like, fingertip tapping is not as good on teeth as the fingernail tapping is. But you can still use it on hard objects if you'd like. So fingertip tapping is also really, really nice. It's a different type of tapping. It's a different, I don't want to say like caliber, but like it definitely has its own category. It's definitely very distinct from fingernail tapping, but still tapping, still very versatile, still very tingly, and I am still going to put it in S tier. Wonderful. Next we have finger flutters. I am not great at finger flutters. I have weird fingers. But for me, I think in terms of something that is iconically and specifically ASMR, you don't see finger flutters in many other types of videos. I think that it's pretty exclusive to this community. And, like, I'm kind of torn between A tier and S tier because finger flutters are good for a little bit. But you wouldn't want to listen to a whole video of finger flutters, I don't think. Whereas you could listen to a whole video that was just whispering or a whole video that was just tapping. However, given that it is really exclusive to our community, I'm laziness. Alright, next up is crinkling. I've done quite a few videos that are primarily focused on crinkling noises. I really think tea bags are like arguably the best for crinkles. It's like just the right amount of crinkle. Without being overwhelming. Some crinkles can be kind of overwhelming. And so I would say to put crinkling in A tier, but because there are crinkle sounds that can just be offensive to the ears, like the frequency of the crinkle is too high and it's kind of jarring, so I'm gonna go ahead and stick that in the B tier. Love it, but if it's not done right, it can be terribly distracting. Okay, next is tearing. We'll go back to our tea bag for that. So tearing can be done with a lot of different materials too. I did a cardboard tearing video one time that was far more aggressive, but it still managed, I guess, to be relaxing and or tingly for a lot of people. So I kind of enjoy the smaller paper tearing sounds. I don't necessarily find them like tingly, but they can be relaxing. But again, like I'm not, as a general rule, there's not a whole lot of like super aggressive ASMR that I'm a fan of, like personally. So I'm gonna stick that down here with breath and wind. Alright, let's move on to typing. This is not the greatest keyboard for typing noises. I think typing noises tend to be better on mechanical keyboards that have really sharp clicking noises. And one could argue that typing is really just a form of tapping. However, I really love typing videos. And I think that it is very tingly. Oh my goodness gracious. It's the mean kitty. Say hello, Mac. What tier is kitty cat noises? I want to put them in F tier because they're annoying me. I don't have a sticker for that. I'm just gonna write them in. Alright, guys, get out from underneath there. Oh my goodness. My biggest fear right now is that they're out there walking on the keyboard. Also in F tier is 5 a.m. Bassy cars driving by. Holy moly. You know, I get up this early in the morning for a reason, and it's not so that I can waste my time waiting for people to bump their stereo system in the middle of the road. Okay. Typing went in A tier after multiple interruptions. Very popular, very fun, very clicky and tingly. Page turning. Now, I'm kind of torn on this one, which I think kind of should be A, because I like how relaxing the noise is, but at the same time, I'm just gonna put it in B because I don't think that it stands on its own well. So I like page turning while I'm listening to someone read or someone write or when they're doing something else, but the pages by themselves I don't think would work for me. So let's take a look at our tier list so far. At the top in our S tier, we have whispering, nail tapping, and fingertip tapping, along with finger flutters. And then A tier, we have tongue clicking, scratching, and typing. In our A tier, we have tongue clicking, scratching, and typing. B tier is crinkling and page turning. C tier is breath noises, wind sounds, and tearing things. D tier is soft-spoken, and then all the way down here in F tier we have kitty cat noises and loud bassy cars. Now it is specifically because of F tier that I'm going to make this a two-part video, and I apologize that the first half has been fraught with distraction. I think that it's only fair to you that I pause here and come back at a time when I can focus on you, and only you, as it should be. So please, if you're sleeping, have sweet sugar dreams, and if you are still awake, stay tuned and I will see you